All right, example 8 is a lot like example 6, where it's going to walk you through things. And again, this comes from my math lab. I don't personally love it, but again, I wanted to do one that was like your homework. And then after we get done with example 8, I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try example 9 on your own. And then you're going to check your work. I'm not going to work through example 9. So example 8 says a woman has $5,000 invested in 2 rental properties. One yields an annual return of 10% of her investment, and the other returns 12% per year of her investment. Her total annual return from the 2 investments is $53,000. Let X represent the amount of 10% interest, and we're going to let Y represent the amount of 12% interest. Excuse me. So since this one tells me what X is going to equal and what Y is going to equal, I'm not going to pick my own variables. I will use X and Y here. So write the equation, or write an equation that states the sum, again, sum of the investment is $500,000. So that is your quantity one. So that is simply your X plus Y equals 50,000. Okay, so whether that's 3,000 and, or I guess it could be 3,000, 3,000 and 497,000, but what I meant was 300,000 and 200,000. When I add up the total amount that I'm investing in both, it needs to be a total of that 500,000. So what is the annual return of the 10% investment? Well, however much money I'm investing here, I'm going to get 10% back. So if you move that decimal 2 places, that's 0.1 or 0.10. So that's going to be 0.1x. What's the annual return of the 12%? However much I'm investing here, I need 12% back. So again, move that decimal and we get 0.12, oops, Y. Okay, so write an equation that states the sum of the annual returns is 53,000. So this plus this equals this. 0.1x plus 0.12y equals 53,000. So solve these 2 equations. So I have x plus y equals 500,000 and 0.1x plus 0.12y equals 53,000. So now let's solve. Okay. You can go either way. You could multiply this top one by this negative 0.1 if you wanted to. You can also solve by substitution. X equals 500,000 minus Y, or Y equals 500,000 minus X. But I'm going to turn my equations here with decimals into more whole numbers. So if this is 0.10, think of this as 10 cents, right? How many dimes, how many 10 cents make up 1? And that's 10. I'm going to multiply this one by negative 10. And what that's going to do is take this decimal and move it once. It's going to actually move all of these decimals over 1 unit to the right. So this top equation does not change. And now this bottom equation will be negative x minus 1.2y equals negative 530,000. So let's add here what we have left. Positive and negative x, 0 out, so those are eliminated. Now let's add what we have left. 1 plus a negative 1.2 is negative 0.2y. And 500,000 plus a negative 530,000 is negative 30,000. Divide both sides by negative 0.2. And we get y equals 150,000. So now let's plug that in to get the rest. That top equation is by far the easiest of the two. So we have x plus 150,000 equals 500,000. We'll subtract this over and we get x equals 350,000. So to answer the question, how much she invested in each property? She invested 350,000 in the 10% property and 150,000 in the 12% property. Word answers need word problems. It would not really make sense to write this as an ordered pair because it doesn't answer the question that they gave you. So I want to check my answers again and let's see if it goes a little bit better this time. When I add my two numbers up, we had 350,000 plus 150,000 and we are at 500,000. When I plug it in here, 0.1 times 350 plus 0.2 times 150 gives me my 53,000 that we will get back each year. So now I want you to pause the video and I want you to try example 9 on your own. It is the exact same type here, except it's not going to walk you through it. So you need to set up this equation, set up this equation, and then solve by substitution or elimination. Once you have an answer, pause the video and then you can check your answer. Okay, I hope you had time to pause the video and work on example 9. Here is the answer to your problem. You should have got 39,000 in the 10% fund and 13,000 in the 14% fund. So pause this video and either, I guess, copy it down if you did not even attempt it. And if you didn't attempt it, I'm sure you're still a great person, but shame on you. If you did not get these numbers here, find your mistake. And then email me if you need any further help with this.